Hey, you gotta love NBA basketball, bro. So, we definitely tried to come out and compete. I myself I was just doing my best out there to pace myself, and just I know that, it's gonna take me a little minute to just get up and down a few more times. But I'm excited. I'm just excited for the future. Cleveland threw a lot of things at us, to start the game. They threw zone. They forced us in some positions that were just a little uncomfortable. And I turned the ball over in the first quarter. We had a few turnovers and we limited in the second half, but they scored 20 points, in the second OT. I don't I don't know many teams that could put up 20 points in 5 minutes, but they did, and Colin got hot. So I give the young fella credit, and I give that whole Cleveland team credit tonight. They came to play.
You talked about how your teammates have had your back. First game in 15 days for you. How did it feel emotionally to be back out there with your teammates?
Man, always playing the game that I love. I'm grateful. So I never take it for granted. And then also to be, playing with Kevin Durant, James Harden, just those names alone right now, just like we're having some fun, but it's not just about us. And I always say that, we'll have good nights, we'll have great nights, but it's how we galvanize this group together and how we sacrifice and compromise for the greater good, and that still remains to be seen. Obviously one game's out the way, but I'm excited for what's to come.
Brian Lewis, New York Post.
Hey, Kyrie. Two-part question. I'm curious. I mean, obviously 7 games that you didn't play. How did you feel? It's a lot of minutes that you logged. How did you feel there? And when you look at the defense and the overtime, was part of that, you think, just fatigue overall, or was that just being unfamiliar with each other?
Man, that's just being human. Honestly, we've come together. I've been away for a while. The team's been doing incredibly well. So definitely wanted this first one as a group. But like I said, you got to give Cleveland credit to a certain degree. A lot of opportunities that we had to extend the lead or take control of the game, they came back and hit a three, or they came back and responded, and they responded all night. And, it's just one of those nights, and you got to give credit to them. And then for us, we just take accountability for what we could have done individually better. And then collectively as a group, we'll watch film tomorrow and see where we can get better. So
Greg Logan, Newsday.
Kyrie, as you said, you guys have to take responsibility for the loss. But at the same time, the big three scored 96 points tonight and scored 42 of the last 57 points, Nets points tonight. So what do you say chemistry you guys showed first time out of the block?
Hey, I think any one of us would definitely take a win over all those, just great stats. Those sound incredible for a first game out for a few great teammates, just first time touching the floor. But like I said, we're not so much consumed about what we can do. We're more or less responsible for, like I said, putting these pieces together and making it work. And offensively, it clearly wasn't enough tonight. We still needed to get stops on the other end. So that's going to be the tale of our season, is how committed are we to that end of the floor moving forward. And like I said, these are just words, until we meet it with actions and we go out and do the little things and we prepare a little bit better. And I don't say that to mistake my words. I'm just saying, as we prepare better moving forward, we just kind of throwing in these last few days. So just putting it together, and we just got to keep smiling and having fun. Like I said, I was smiling when Colin Sexton was hitting all those shots, man. Like, it was one of those nights for him. He gets an offensive board, they tie it, they're down 1 now. KD hits 2, and then he hits a 3, they tie it. It was just like one of those nights, and being back in Cleveland, it was rightfully so one of those type of games, like, hey, back and forth. So I look forward to playing them again Friday, and we'll see how we fare that game.
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News.
Hey, Kyrie, you are back in Cleveland, and, I'm going to ask you to take me kind of on a trip down memory lane to the year that you guys won the title. This isn't your first time on a big – you played with LeBron, you played on with K-Love. So I'm curious as to what you learned about how stars gel in Cleveland that you can now take to Brooklyn on this new journey now that you guys have James Harden.
Well, man, I know you asking me to take you down a now memory lane, but it's hard to just put together 1 year that it took to get to that place. You know, I was drafted here, and we had a few good pieces, might I say, and that's being generous in terms of how I came into this situation with Cleveland. And you know, we were at the bottom, and we had to start and work our way up. And when Bron came back, my 4th year after, you know, killing it in Miami and doing what he was doing, and then he came, and then K Love came, and it just the ball got rolling really, really quickly. And you know, I think I was in my 5th year, fourth. I was in my 4th year at that point when we first got together, and it was just new. You know, being around greatness every single day. You see LeBron, you see K Love, you see myself, you see Tristan. You know, I can name all the guys that we had. JR at some point, Amon. Like, we had a great collection of gamers. You know, hoopers. So when we gelled, it was just playing the game the right way. And if we weren't gelling, you know, we were we were trying to climb back out of things because we were just throwing our talent everywhere. And we knew coming into every game, we had a great chance to win. And it took time and it took communication. So to your point, you know, as I take you down memory lane, it just takes a lot of resolve and honest communication, which, you know, having leaders, but having a leader like Bron take a lot of pressure off myself, and then be able to perform and lead the group. You know, I was just learning, and I learned as much as I could from him and other guys. And now we're here, and I'm grateful to, you know, come back and take you down memory lane. But it took resolve, compromise, and sacrifice and communication for that team to work. In short, okay, if you're gonna use anything, use that. I
Rachel
took you down
Nichols?
memory lane. Now thank me later.
Rachel Nichols, ESPN.
Hey, Kai, welcome back. Doing a project where I'm asking guys about the first time that they played Kobe Bryant. What do you remember from the very first night that you went up against him?
Well, Rachel, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you on these Zoom calls for a minute, so it's good to see you. Well, it's still so hard for me to talk about because it's still very raw. And it's raw for a lot of other people. And I know I'm not the only person feeling like this, because it's just, you know, every single day it's just thinking about him. But
that's what I'm trying to ask about. Good things like your first game.
Yeah, no, definitely. Doesn't mean I'm not struggling with it still. It's all good. You know, I'm still just taking it day by day. But the first game I played against Cole, you know, I wasn't really thinking too much. I was a rookie. He was coming off of an unbelievable tear of 40-point games. You know, I think he sprained his wrist a few times, but he had, I think, 2 40-point games the game before. So when he came out in our game, I just saw and witnessed somebody just manipulate the whole entire game just based off of his greatness. He was just taking great shots and just giving incredible effort. And he was with Mike Brown at the time, ironically. And, you know, I know that they were dealing with things their season of figuring things out. So I know Kobe was just like, you know, how in typical Kobe fashion, just what's going on, but I'm really like, you know, and we love him for it. And he was just incredible, Black Mamba. But I remember most just watching somebody that, hey, you gotta love NBA basketball, bro. So, you know, we definitely tried to come out and compete. I myself was just doing my best out there to pace myself, you know, and just, I know that, you know, it's going to take me a little minute to just get up and down a few more times, but, you know, I'm excited. You know, I'm just excited for the future. Cleveland threw a lot of things at us, you know, to start the game. They threw zone. They forced us in some positions that, you know, were just a little uncomfortable. And I turned the ball over in the first quarter. You know, we had a few turnovers and we limited in the second half, but, you know, they scored 20 points, you know, in the second OT.